The mystery of D.B. Cooper. In the history of crime in the United States, one name still remains a complete mystery: D.B. Cooper. He is the only airplane hijacker in U.S. history who was never identified or captured. A man who boarded a plane like an ordinary passenger, demanded $200,000, jumped out of the aircraft with a parachute, and then disappeared forever. Even after decades of investigation, no one knows who he really was or what truly happened to him. The story begins on November 24, 1971. It was the day before Thanksgiving. A quiet, middle-aged man walked into the airport in Portland. He was dressed neatly in a black suit, white shirt, and black tie. He wore sunglasses and carried a small briefcase. Nothing about him seemed suspicious. At the airline counter, he bought a one-way ticket for a short flight to Seattle. The name written on the ticket was Dan Cooper. He boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 and sat in seat 18C. The plane took off normally with 36 passengers on board. Soon after takeoff, Cooper called a flight attendant and handed her a folded note. At first she thought it might be a phone number or a message from a passenger. But when she read it, her expression changed immediately. The note said, "I have a bomb in my briefcase." Cooper then opened his briefcase slightly and showed what looked like red sticks with wires attached, making the threat seem very real. Unlike many criminals, Cooper was calm and polite. He quietly explained his demands. He wanted $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready when the plane landed. The flight attendant informed the pilot, and the pilot immediately contacted authorities. While the plane continued flying in circles, the Federal Bureau of Investigation and local police began preparing the ransom money. When the aircraft finally landed in Seattle, the authorities followed Cooper's instructions carefully. They delivered the $200,000 in cash along with the parachutes. After receiving the money, Cooper did something unexpected. He allowed all the passengers to leave the plane safely. Only the pilot, co-pilot, and a flight attendant remained on board. Then Cooper ordered the plane to take off again. He instructed the pilots to fly south toward Mexico, keeping the plane at a low altitude and a slow speed. Outside, the night had become dark and stormy. Rain fell heavily and strong winds filled the sky. The plane flew over the forests of Washington. During the flight, Cooper prepared his parachute and tied the bag of money around his body. Around 8 p.m., somewhere above the wilderness, Cooper walked to the rear stairs of the aircraft. He opened the staircase while the plane was still flying. Cold wind rushed into the cabin. Lightning flashed across the dark sky. Then, without hesitation, Cooper jumped out of the plane into the night. No one on the aircraft actually saw him jump, but the crew soon realized he was gone. Immediately after the plane landed again, a massive search operation began. The FBI, local police, and military teams searched forests, rivers, and mountains across the region. Helicopters flew overhead while agents examined possible landing areas. But despite the huge effort, no sign of Cooper was ever found. No parachute, no body, and no clear evidence of where he landed. For years the FBI continued investigating the case. Thousands of suspects were examined, but none could be proven to be Cooper. Then, in 1980, a surprising discovery was made. A young boy digging in the sand near the Columbia River found several bundles of old cash. When investigators checked the serial numbers, they confirmed that the money was part of Cooper's ransom. This discovery only deepened the mystery. Did Cooper survive the dangerous jump and escape with the rest of the money? Or did he die somewhere in the cold forests that night? No one knows for sure. After more than 40 years of investigation, the FBI officially closed the case in 2016, admitting they could not solve the mystery. Today, the legend of D.B. Cooper continues to fascinate people around the world. Some believe he was a genius who planned the perfect crime. Others think he never survived the jump. But one thing is certain: the identity and fate of D.B. Cooper remain one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history.